The real benefit to using all of the capabilities of Lightroom to add metadata to your images is the ability to find specific images more easily later. In this lesson, we'll explore the library filters in Lightroom, which allow us to filter the images to narrow down to just the image you're looking for. In order to work with library filters, first we have to enable their display. So from the View menu, we can choose Show Filter Bar. Note that you can also press the # key in order to enable the library filter. The library filter appears above the grid display in the library module. Right now I have it set to None, and in fact, this is the default display. We'll see more about that in just a moment. I can search by a variety of parameters, but first I want to show you some of the built-in filters that are included with Lightroom. If I go to the File menu and then choose Library Filters, I can enable the filters directly from the menu. With the filters enabled, I can go back to the File menu, choose Library Filters, and then choose one of the many options that are available for filtering my images. For example, I can choose Filter by Color Label and select Red from the list. This will filter the images, in this case all photographs in my catalog, so that I can only see those images that have a red color label assigned to them. Whenever I switch between collections of images, the library filter will automatically reset. For example, if I go to the Quick Collection and then switch back to all photographs, notice that I am no longer looking at my red labeled images. But I can change that. For example, I'll go back to the File menu and choose Library Filters, Enable Filters, and we'll get back to the red labeled images. Now if I lock the library filter by clicking the icon at the far right of the library filter controls, then the filtering will be locked. Now if I switch to the Quick Collection and then back to all photographs, the filter is retained as red labels only. In this case, I'm going to turn off the locking and we'll explore some additional options for filtering our images. Now, as you can see at the moment, we're working with image attributes. So I can choose that I only want to see images with a pick flag and a red label, or only those with a pick flag regardless of their label, etc. This is the same as the options that are available on the film strip, by the way. But I also have much more power when it comes to the library filter. On the attributes bar, in addition to the flag, rating, and color, I can choose to filter images so I can only see the master photos or virtual copies that have been created of photos. Taking things a step further, we'll look at the text options. Note that these are in addition to the attributes, though in this case I'm going to click Attribute to turn those options off. In this case I'm going to search for text. I can search in any searchable field, or I can search in specific fields if I prefer. In this case I'll leave it set to any searchable field. I can also determine how the value I enter is evaluated. Does it need to just be contained within the image? Do all of the words I type need to be contained? Do any of the words need to be contained, or should they not be contained? I can also choose Starts With or Ends With. I'll leave this set to Contains All, and in the search box I'll type bird. As you can see, this has filtered the images so they only contain those to which I've assigned the keyword bird. Clicking the X to clear that search criteria, we'll take a look at the metadata options. This is, in my mind, the most powerful capability within the library filter. As you can see, I have 4 columns that I'm able to search by, but I could add or subtract columns as I see fit. In this case, I'm trying to find a particular image that I captured while I was in Africa. I don't remember the date, so in fact, I'm going to just remove this column so I don't have to worry about specifying a particular date or being distracted by it. I'll then scroll through the list of cameras. I'll choose the camera model that I know that I've used to capture the particular image I'm looking for. And I'll choose the 300mm lens. In this case, there's 2 lenses listed. The first is the 300mm by itself, and the second is the 300mm with the 2x teleconverter. I'll choose the first option in this case. As I continue filtering down further and further, you'll notice that some of the values update. In this case, the image I'm looking for is one that I gave a red label to, so I'll click that option. And now, sure enough, there's the image of the leopard I was looking for. Now this is all well and good, and keep in mind I could add additional columns simply by choosing the menu at the top right and choosing Add Column. I can also remove columns at any time. But I can also change the columns. So in this case, for example, let's say there were other criteria I could use to locate the specific image I was looking for. I can click the word Label, for example, and choose different criteria to use. Perhaps I'm looking for an image captured at a particular shutter speed, for example. The point is, I can use a variety of parameters in order to find the exact image I'm looking for. Note, by the way, that as I navigate through these options, there's an indication of how many images have that particular property. For example, there are only 55 images that match all of the search criteria, including having a 1/500th of a second shutter speed. It's important to note, by the way, that you should work from left to right when building up your column criteria in the library filter. For example, if I switch to a different camera, the numbers will update to reflect different quantities of images captured at particular settings. So here, for example, you'll notice that my shutter speeds have all changed, including the numbers of images captured at each of those shutter speeds. I can use this option to choose specific images based on the criteria I want to search for. With so many powerful and flexible options for filtering your images in Lightroom, you just might find yourself applying complex filters just for fun, even when you're not really trying to find an image. But when you do need to find a particular image, chances are the advanced filtering options in Lightroom will help you get the job done.